Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions, and thank you again so much for our time together. I'd like us to go back today to the book of John, chapter 18. You know how I'm always telling you that I put question marks in my Bible? Here's a question I have, and really I'm just going to share with you my question because I really don't have an answer to it. Beginning with verse 15. Simon Peter and another disciple were following Jesus. Now that other disciple was John the Beloved, the one that Jesus laid his head back on during the Last Supper. Simon Peter and the other disciple were following Jesus. Because this disciple was known to the high priest, he went with Jesus into the high priest's courtyard, but Peter had to wait outside at the door. The other disciple, who was known to the high priest, came back and spoke to the girl on duty there and brought Peter in. "You're not one of his disciples, are you?" the girl at the door asked Peter. He replied, "I am not." It was cold, and the servants of the official stood around the fire. They had to keep warm. Peter was also standing there warming himself. Now, he winds up denying. You go on through verse 25 and follow. He denies Christ 3 times. Now, isn't it fascinating the difference between Peter's experience and John's experience at Caiaphas' house? John the Beloved was known to Caiaphas. He was given access into Caiaphas' house. Maybe as a fisherman he had been there and sold fish to Caiaphas. Maybe he had given Caiaphas a boat ride one time at the Sea of Galilee. I don't know, but for some reason John was personally known to Caiaphas, to the point that he even had Peter brought in the door. But no one questioned him if he was a disciple. No one questioned him. They only questioned Peter. No one questioned him and gave him the opportunity to deny Christ. They only questioned Peter. Now here's my question. Why? Why didn't both of them get treated the same? Why weren't both of them subjected to the same temptations? Why weren't both of them subjected to the same challenge that would cause them to deny Christ? Why is it that only Peter was challenged and John the Beloved was not? I don't have the answer. I just have the question. But usually that's where answers begin, when we learn to ask questions. And then we ask the questions today. Why can 2 people be walking through life together as friends, and one person has temptations come to their life that the other does not? Why is it that there's no spiritual equality of temptation in this world? Why is it that there's no equal temptation, equal challenge to every human being in this world? I don't know. Now some of you are sitting there going, "Yeah, Pastor, why is it that, I had to go through all this stuff and my friend, they didn't go through anything?" I don't have an answer to that. Maybe a piece of an answer. Paul says there is no temptation that has taken you such as is common to all men. But God will, with that temptation, also make a way of escape. God will never allow you to be tempted beyond that which you are able. Maybe Peter was spiritually stronger than John. I don't know. I know that when Peter faced this temptation, I know that there was a way of escape, because the Bible says there would have been a way of escape. But Peter didn't take that way of escape. Maybe when the story is told and we get to heaven and we see all the details, we may find that John was also tempted, but John took the escape hatch. John took the way of escape, and Peter just stayed there and thought he was strong enough to deal with it. I don't know the answers, but I do know that life is not fair. Life is never fair. I do know that temptations are not fair. They never are. So rather than looking around and going, "Why aren't other people going through the same things I'm going through? Why aren't other people having the same challenges I'm having?" And Peter could have looked at John and said, "Why is it that, you're not going through the same challenges I'm going through?" Rather than ask that question, why don't you just recognize that God is with you, that God will be the lifter of your head, that though a righteous man falls 7 times, he rises again, that God has promised to never fail you, to never forsake you. Why not recognize that there's always an escape hatch? Instead of focusing on the temptation, look around for your way out of this situation to get the pressure off. Rather than look around at why aren't other people going through this, why not look around for God and God's escape hatch for your life?